Thanks for joining me for my first State of the City address. And thank you to the Democratic Club for hosting this tonight. And I'd also like to thank Rob Kelber for coming out so we could air this on our website as well as our cable stations for the residents who can't make it tonight. As most of you know, the State of the City is a way to inform residents and businesses about what's going on in the city right now, and as well as what's going to be happening in this upcoming year. As you can imagine, everything I'm able to accomplish on a daily basis is in large part due to my administrative team and all the employees who work hard every day. So I'd first like to say thank you to all of my directors and all the employees for everything that you do. I'd like to introduce my administrative team so far. This includes Police Chief Scott Melke, Fire Chief Joe Zemek, who's here tonight, Service Director John Verba, Finance Director Dan Enovich, Building Commissioner Dave Kalsar, Recreation Manager Maria McGinty, and our two newest additions, Law Director Kevin Butler and Economic Development Director Andy Udress. My administrative team's not complete though. Right now, I'm in the process of interviewing and selecting a new senior director, a finance director, which is actually going to replace Mr. Enovich, who's retiring this month, as well as a magistrate and prosecutor. The third major component of a successful city is our legislative branch. This year's council includes Interim Council President Ron Van Kirk, Kathy Pucci, Tony DeMarco, Kevin Tansky, Mary Belbeer, and our two new additions, Barb Plitsky, who's here tonight, and Deb Tomesco, who is appointed by council to replace the vacancy that I created when I was elected. So I'd like to first begin by discussing some of my overall goals for this year. As a new mayor, I've set some important goals, but many of these goals can't happen overnight. And I'm working right now to build a strong foundation to move our city forward. Throughout this movement, we can make some small strides to better improve our technology, efficiency, and communication. I'd like to discuss a couple of these small items. As for improving our technology and efficiency, we're first looking at upgrading our phone system. Right now, we have an analog phone system, and I've been told by our vendor that if something breaks, we're not going to be able to fix it. So we're looking at, with our administrative team, switching to either a voice-over phone system or a digital phone system. So that is going to be a big price tag for this year, but it's necessary to function in our city. Next, we're going to be upgrading our servers and networks because some of this equipment has exceeded its life expectancy. We're going to be exploring wireless internet throughout all of our city buildings. We do not have this service right now. It is something that's asked about frequently, and it only comes at a price tag of about $35,000 for a 10-year span. And then we're going to be looking at our scanning and storage of all of our documents. Last year, former Mayor Belbeer started a process where he sent out all the documents in the old fire station because we were expecting to have that demolished for a new police station. So right now it's sitting out in a facility in Vermillion. So we have to update our records retention program to start this process, which hasn't been done since 1995. It does not account for technology changes in email systems and electronic documents. So we're going to look at the Ohio Historical Society, update our records retention, and this is going to allow us to be able to destroy documents and then scan documents that are permanent files, like our city ordinances and city minutes. So this is something we're working on right now with our law director and our clerk of council. Next, we're going to be revamping our city website to make it more user-friendly for those things that the businesses and residents use all the time. And this is something that Jill, my executive secretary, is going to be working on with the county, who already hosts our city website, to make it better moving forward. As we move forward tonight in the State of the City, you'll see little small changes in technology improvements for each department. Next, I'd like to have better communication for both our residents and businesses. We will continue our monthly newsletters electronically, and I'll also be exploring a partnership for a printed newsletter twice per year. I will also be setting aside blocks of times each month that are already set up for this month to hold resident meetings in the early morning and evenings, so you make it available for those residents who work during the day. I'll continue coffee with the mayors at the Senior Center, and have neighborhood meetings in the summertime. We are also in the process of finalizing a neighborhood guide for existing and new residents so we can keep our streets clean and safe, and the residents can understand the city rules better in an easy-to-read format. We are also in the process of updating our welcome packets for new residents, which will also create a marketing tool for those residents looking at our city. And lastly, I will continue my effort to meet business owners throughout the community on a monthly basis. Next, I'd like to create and implement an economic development plan. Our new economic development director, Andy Udris, is in the process of doing a SWOT analysis right now. This analysis will outline the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in Brooklyn. Based on the SWOT analysis and reviewing the master plan, accounting for the resources available here in Brooklyn, he will develop and release an economic development plan within the next couple months. Next, I'd like to create a 5-year capital plan. As most of you know, City Council just passed an ordinance at the last meeting allowing me to enter an agreement with Architectural Vision Group to conduct a needs assessment of all of our city buildings. This process should take about 5 months to complete. We will use these results of the needs assessments as the foundation to create a 5-year capital plan moving forward, and also accounting for the revenue loss that we're going to see in this upcoming year. I'd now like to outline some of our departments, and I'll first start with the fire department. 2 years ago, Chief Zemek was able to secure an ISO rating of 2. Less than 6% of departments nationally have this rating. And what it helps for you, it helps decrease your insurance rates and also for the businesses. If I take a look back at 2015, I'd like to highlight a few things. In June of 2015, we've added a new engine pumper to our fleet. You can see the pictures up there. The chief was able to secure over $139,000 in grants to help purchase capital items. We had a fire loss of about $2.5 million. Most of this was due to the school stadium fire at the end of last year. And the firefighters responded to 2,556 emergency calls in 2015. This is a 9% increase since 2014. We still continue to offer superior services compared to other cities. This includes car seat installation, a CERT program, fire prevention classes, installation of smoke detectors for our residents, home safety checks, CPR and AED classes, and free blood pressure checks. And in 2016, the fire department requested no capital items moving forward, but our chief did recognize that our ambulance is getting old, and we're going to have to take a look at purchasing a new ambulance in the next 2 years. Additionally, we lost 3 firefighters in the past year, so we're going to have to evaluate our staffing levels in conjunction to our needs and the upcoming loss of our revenue of American Greetings. One small technology increase for this year is the chief is securing iPads. So he no longer has to carry around patient record forms for the patient to sign off on in the ambulance. This will electronically send over to his final report at the end, and it makes it easier in the transmission process. Next, in our police department, as we begin to see changes in police reforms, Mike O'Malley had mentioned previously, the city is keeping up to date on our technology and training to meet these reform standards. With the help of some grant money, the city was able to purchase body cameras, which we believe will be the assistance not only to the public, but also for the officers' safety as well. In 2015, the city also updated each vehicle's dash cameras, and we also secured 4 new police vehicles to our fleet. For 2016, we're hoping to upgrade our mobile data terminals, secure new tasers, and a new motorcycle. As well as like in our fire department, we still continue to offer superior services in our police department, including a bicycle unit, animal control officers, the RUOK program for our seniors, educational programs, and vacation checks. A lot of residents don't know about a vacation check. If you're going out of town, you can actually call our police department, and they'll make sure, to check your home during that period of time to make sure nothing's happening. Currently, the city has a contract with Code Red, which is a system that notifies residents of any emergencies or city updates by phone or text. The fire chief, police chief, and I will be exploring the move to Ready Notify program, which is offered by the county. This system allows some savings for the city and also promotes a regional approach that we're trying to move towards. Speaking of regional approach, our first big regionalization effort was our Parma Regional Dispatch Center. This was fully implemented in October of 2015. Our host city is the city of Parma, and our partnership city is Parma Heights. And Brook Park plans to join this upcoming year. As more cities join, the savings is realized to all the cities that are in the partnership. Through this, we were able to eliminate 5 full-time dispatchers in Brooklyn, some of which went to Parma, and we left behind a records clerk and a secretary, and a part-time records clerk and a part-time jailer. The chiefs will meet bi-monthly to address issues as they arise, but so far this process has been very smooth. We've also recognized that the police and fire departments, because of this regionalization, have been able to work more effectively to collaborate on purchasing together, grant applications, and most importantly, service delivery for the residents. In the service department, in 2015, it was approved $1.2 million in street repairs. And in 2016, this will be matched with $927,000 in local street repairs and additional monies from ODOT in Memphis. In 2015, we reinstituted the crack sealing program, so we're making strides to protecting the investment that we're putting into our roads. And we will continue this investment in 2016 with crack sealing. In 2015, we also saw an increase of 63 tons in our recycling rates. This is in large part due to the one-arm garbage truck and recycle truck and the larger toters that are offered to the residents now. Also in 2015, our landfill was officially closed in December. As a result of the closure, we'll have a post-closure period of about 30 years, and we'll have to pay about $90,000 per year to make sure that we're compliant with EPA standards. But this also gives us an opportunity to look at what we can use this land for in the future. In 2016, the service department is looking to add new radios to the vehicles, a salt truck, and a new one-arm garbage truck. We also allocated about $7,000 in the budget to repair sidewalks, about 120 blocks. And also in 2016, I have set aside money to update the mechanics equipment in our city so we can avoid some upcharges from some items we've been outsourcing for our vehicles. Here are some of the streets that are slated to get done for this year. This includes 12 neighborhood streets: Brook High, Apple Creek, Heather, Ira, Melody, Pepper Ridge, Delora, Vandalia, Saybrook, Sunny, Autumn, north of I-480, West 62nd Street. The construction timeline will begin April 18th and go until August 31st. And we'll have a more accurate figure of that timeline as the time goes near, and we'll be posting all of that on the city's website and notifying residents by letters when they get to those particular streets. Some of our major road projects this year is Memphis Road. You may have noticed it's not a great street, probably one of our worst, and I think everybody will be happy to hear that this is getting done in conjunction with the county this year. Construction begins around May 2nd, and it's slated to be complete by September 30th. As you know, this is one of our main streets, so the notification of the construction is important to everybody. We also will be working on a right turn lane on I-480 West with ODOT. So you can see the picture. It will be added right past the sign right there. This will help with traffic flow on Tiedemann Road. This was slated to get done last year, but the estimates came in way higher than what the engineer had predicted. So we'll be working on, thank you, Regis. We'll be working on it for this year. In conjunction with that, the concrete slabs will be replaced approaching the 480 bridge on both sides. Next is a noise barrier wall that was originally slated to get done for this year. But they are going to go out to bid this year, and the project will start in April of 2017. As for Rodone and Rodane Alley, we've tried to secure a grant for the Ohio Public Works. We were denied. We tried to get a zero-interest loan from Ohio Public Works. We were denied. But again, one of the worst streets we have in our city, and this is a priority for council and myself to get done. The cost is about $2.2 million, and this includes Rodone, Rodone Alley, and all of the utilities underneath. But we are working to put this part of the 2017 budget. In our building department, we saw some new and expanding businesses in our city for 2015. This includes Chandler Restoration on Clinton Road, Blue Jay Communications, who is a partner of Time Warner Cable on Associate Avenue, Keystone Tailored Manufacturing, who replaced Hugo Boss and absorbed all the employees, C&M Signs on Memphis Avenue, and some expanding, relocating businesses including Oldenburg Eye Center, Today's Dentistry, and State Farm Insurance, who all relocated on Ridge Road. A small review of the building department in 2015, we hired a new person, Assistant Building Commissioner. They've been working on condensing the contractor registration application and all of the applications to make it easier for our businesses to go through the process. Our largest renovation in 2015 was Key Bank, and the total construction for 2015 was $6.8 million. This is actually about $23 million less than the previous 2 years. The building department continues their effort on the door-to-door inspections of all homes, and in 2015, they inspected all homes west of Ridge from Outlook Avenue to Southfield. And they had 281 violations, and 249 were brought into compliance. Overall, they had 1,075 inspections. 235 rental licenses were secured, which is actually up from 2014 and 12. Not because there's more rentals, but because we've identified the people who weren't filing those applications through this door-to-door process. Also, during the winter months, we've been inspecting all of the apartment buildings, and this year, Westbrook Apartments, Ridge Road Apartments, and Floridians were all inspected. Some upgrades in our building department for 2016, including upgrading our computer software that hasn't been done in over 15 years. We're also purchasing some iPads, so our inspectors, when out in the field, can be more efficient about their process. They will be able to input all the data right there and create the forms and send back to their office to print, so they're ready to go as soon as they get back. This makes for tracking the citation process much easier. Also, we'll be updating some of our ordinances to make sure we maintain Brooklyn's housing stock is strong. Some projects in 2016 includes Menards, which will break ground this spring, in the old Kmart property. Right now, the Cuyahoga County Library is going under a $500,000 renovation that will go till March. Hampton Inn plans on doing an interior and exterior renovation this year. Keystone Tailored Manufacturing will add a retail store this year, and Metal Fabricating Corp. And Aero International will be doing some upgrades. These are the businesses we know about for this year, and I'm sure there's more to come. In our recreation center, which I think is it's underrated in our city, and I was shocked at how many partnerships that exist right now. Some partnerships with our hockey rink includes with St. Ignatius, Brecksville, Holy Name, and Olmsted Falls. This is all of their home rinks. We also host the Barron Cup and the Ohio High School sectionals and district tournaments. Our pool facilities are frequently used by St. Ed's and St. Joseph Academy for their training. We provide many different fitness programs. One of the most popular is the Silver Sneakers. And for the 2016 year, we're going to secure the Silver and Fit program to offer those people who want to file for insurance a different program that don't qualify for the Silver Sneakers program. We have many different youth programs offered in the city, and we plan on expanding those this year. In 2016, some capital items we're proposing is a Zamboni, upgraded cameras and key fobs, outdoor fencing around the pool, and a new boiler and sand filter in our pool. We also have expensed some money for some upgrades in our auditorium that are in our regular budget. In 2016, some goals include expanding programs and activities, hosting a farmers market, and creating more partnerships with communities, schools, and private businesses to utilize our recreation center better. Here in our senior center, we only have 3 full-time people who work here. Most of the work that gets done is because of the help of our volunteers. We have over 40 volunteers who worked 4,209 hours in 2015 alone. Because of these volunteers and the hard work of our 3 full-time members, we're able to still offer many services. This includes health screenings, weekly meals, homebound meals through University Parma Hospital, senior snow removal, and van transportation. We also offer over 25 recreation activities. This year in the senior center, we're going to be replacing the carpet as well as giving the walls some fresh paint. Our goal is to create more partnerships. Right now we are working with university hospitals to try to secure a county grant to offer the seniors more services. In our school, you all know we have a new school, a new building, and a whole campus. The new building is for kindergarten through 8th grade. We've also welcomed a new superintendent, Dr. Mark Glykoff. Some things that I'm impressed to see with Dr. Glykoff already is that he's reaching out to our businesses and creating partnerships for not only internships for the students, but also to make sure our students are ready for the workforce. He's also bringing college classes right on campus. Instead of them going out to Tri-C, he's working with Akron to bring these classes right on the facility, so for those parents who are not comfortable with sending their kids out, they can take college classes right there. I think this is a benefit to our community and bringing up our ratings in our schools. We're also working on some partnerships with the school and the city. We're both suffering from the same state losses and cuts, and we realize we're pulling from the same revenue. So why not partner where we can to offer residents the services that they deserve, but at a cheaper cost? So these are continuing conversations with Dr. Glykoff and myself to make this happen. Here's a financial overview from 2015. We had a revenue of about $25.7 million, and we expended about the same amount for 2015. About 73% of our municipal income taxes is our revenue. 6% is from our real estate taxes, and 21% are from other sources like sales tax, motor vehicle license, hotel and video, recreation fees, ambulance fees, building fees, mayor's courts fines, recycle truck grant, employee health care contributions, and miscellaneous grants. As for expenses in 2015, 49% of the expenses was because of the wages and benefits of our employees. 8% went to capital, 6% to debt reduction, 12% to landfill closure. This landfill closure I'd like to speak about a little bit because this is kind of a one-time cost. Over the years, we created a landfill closure fund, and up until this year, we had a little over $4 million in that landfill closure fund. We knew this was going to happen. We didn't know the price tag. It's finally set. So we've expended about $3.2 million, and as I said, we have 30 years of post-closure to deal with. But this is coming to a close, so this is a one-time cost that we had prepared for. So you see this reduction, but this is not something that we'll see in the future. Also, other expenses included utilities, insurances, tax collection fees, equipment that was not in the capital fund, economic development incentives, street lighting, engineering consultant, and garbage tipping fees for our Ridge Road transfer station. Some financial forecasting for the future. At the end of 2015, we had about $12 million in our general fund. That's a very healthy balance if you look around to cities. We've been preparing for what we know is coming right now with American Greetings leaving. And just to give you a kind of a picture of American Greetings loss, which will leave in July of this year and leave about 150 employees behind. In 2014, American Greetings made up about 23% of our total income tax, 23%, and 14% of our overall city's revenue. So this is going to be a big loss for our city. But like I said, we've been planning for this. We have about $3.5 million in our budget stabilization fund, also known as the rainy day fund, to help us get through these times. And we also have set aside, at the end of this year, we'll have about $500,000 in our economic development fund. So this upcoming year, what I've presented to council is a very conservative budget. With the advice of our municipal advisor, I have not eliminated personnel or services this year, because we want to see at the end of this year where we stand and what we can save and what we can't before we start making these decisions. We also are lucky to have two fantastic developers who purchased the American Greetings property, Chris Samarja and Stu Lichter. They have been working on creating a business model and business park where it's going to be diversified. And I believe in the end we'll be better off for it and not having one major revenue source with one major business. I know a lot of people might ask about IKEA, so I'm going to address that right now. IKEA is not a finished deal, but it's been an uphill battle because of the EPA regulations and the wetlands on that property. The EPA filed something against this proposed project as well as the Army Corps of Engineers. So as of right now, the decision is not final, but it doesn't look promising. But we still continue to work with our representatives, Representative Capter, Senator Brown, and Senator Portman, to try to make sure that we can do whatever we can to secure this, not only for Brooklyn, but for the region. The reality is that this business, if it doesn't come to Brooklyn, it's not coming to Northeast Ohio, and I think we all lose out if that doesn't happen. And I want to open it up for some questions and answers at this time. So if anyone has any questions.